So tell me about you and your character. Like, so you have a 235 Adele.
Yeah, so I got started. I've only been playing for about like a month and a half or so. Um, got into it pretty recently after coming back after a couple, it's probably at least like 4 years. I used to play on Scania,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to give Reboot a try after coming back, so started like a fresh account over in Reboot, and I've just been playing quite a lot.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I just wanted to, I guess, get a general checkup on like game system knowledge with like the newer stuff
Mm-hmm.
after returning, and also I guess get info on how to sort of push into the next level in terms of like end game content.
Is
Wanted to
most
see
of
if
the
you had.
stuff clear, like the differences between reboot and non-reboot, and how that affects what you're trying to do?
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, I think the solo progression stuff of Reboot is a lot more appealing, and I guess like just being able to like buy a pack of cubes after a grind session is a lot more. It's a lot more of a dopamine rush. So yeah,
Yeah, you're more directly
I'm having a
feeling
good time.
rewarded.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, yeah, it feels a lot more. Um, what's it like? The sense of progression is a lot more clear to me, especially. Um, I guess like the non-pay to win aspect is a lot more appealing as well. So yeah, I'm having a
Mm-hmm.
pretty good time. I got a couple of friends who joined me as well, so
Ah, okay.
we're all like grouping up and doing some of the later bosses together, and it feels pretty good. So yeah.
Wait, so how do you feel about the basically them or not really officially announcing, but what it's looking like Vacpat's coming to reboot? How do you feel about that?
Uh, I personally don't mind it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna be willing to shell out some money for it. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I think the back pet's pretty nice so far. The compensation back pets,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's been pretty good. So
Yeah. I'm not too
yeah,
fond
I
of the
hope it.
timing because it's like, oh, here's a free Vecbet, and then when it expires,
Right.
hey, by the way, here are
Exactly.
here are pay to win Vecbets also.
Right.
Like right when
I
it
hope they make
ends.
it a little bit less expensive because I saw that like preview. It's gonna be like
It's pretty
100
steep, right?
bucks plus like yeah, it's a little bit pricey. So I don't know yet.
Yeah, 15 a
But
month on top of it. Yeah.
right, right. But I heard it's like way more expensive in the regular server. I didn't play when the backpacks were out
Mm-hmm.
way back.
Yeah, I'm not
So
sure. It's RNG as well, so I think the
right.
average price, I don't know. I think the average
Over.
price isn't super high, but they're also tradable, so that people who trade them rather buy them, without the RNG attached to it, just to know that they're guaranteed getting one. But then I think on average you end up
Right.
paying more, but nobody wants to be able to like get unlucky and pay like 200 bucks and not get one,
Right.
even if the average is like 80. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think it's
I don't know if there's a way. Like honestly, if it gets it into the game, it's I mean, it is what it is, and we'll have to just I'll probably be okay with it. Like it's not like I'm gonna quit or anything.
okay?
But I think one of the cool things now when people are like, oh, do I want to play reboot or non-reboot? Like, what should I play? When people ask that, usually my first question is like, well, do you mind pay to win or no? And if people are like, yeah, I mind pay to win, well then like you have to play
Right.
reboot.
Yeah,
Um,
that's understandable for
but
sure.
that
'Cause it's like
distinction becomes less and less apparent if they keep slowly chipping away at the or adding to the pay to win aspect in the game, and that
yeah,
makes it a
I
bit
definitely
harder.
agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes it hard for me to make the distinction and to help people like choose where they or give them information on where they would want to play. It's like, well, this
No,
doesn't
yeah.
have all of the pay to win, but it does have some, and in some situations maybe a lot. So,
Right. Yeah, from an objective standpoint, it definitely doesn't seem super fair thinking about it because it's pretty steep for the like it's pretty good power boost as well. Like,
hmm
um,
opens up new
yeah,
maps, stuff like that.
right, for sure. That makes me feel like it's almost mandatory if I want to like efficiently
Yeah,
farm.
and that's the point when you're like, oh, it's a free to play game, but it's like pretty much mandatory, especially if it's like $100
Right.
per inventory with like 15 a month of to reboot. That's like more than some subscription based games.
Yeah, no, it's actually 15 bucks a month. Like, you can get like several subscription services for that, right? It's like Spotify plus like Netflix,
Yeah,
probably.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. But then
Yeah,
it's so grind heavy that most people get those anyway to watch while they're grinding. So
right.
it should be like a package. Like if you have Spotify and Netflix and two other ones, that you get like a vac pet in Reboot for, like every month. People just buy the whole
Right.
package then.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
That'd be like a weird combo though.
Yeah.
And then you also get like DoorDash like once every week or something. It's like some weird combo shit. Free tacos on Tuesday at Tex-Mex. Or is it Taco
Yeah.
Mex? Is that a thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah. Also speaking of the VACPAD and everything, what did you pick up with your compensation and everything? What is still available? What have you already used? Because you did hit
So I picked up
235,
like
so
I picked up like the majority of the compensation at this point on this Adele.
mm-hmm.
So I picked up like the arcane weapon, the Dom pendant, pretty much everything that was pretty like safe to pick up. I haven't picked up the like the 230 to 240 potions yet. I'm waiting to either hit 237 or pick this up on the like as close to the end of the compensation period as possible to give me like I think it expires after 90 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I pick it up later, then I'll have a little bit more time to optimally use them.
Right,
So,
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I picked up the arcane symbols and popped them into Morass and Aspera.
Right.
Just recently finished up the hit 235 to get them the 500 in Aspera. And then what else is there? I picked up the Vac Pet.
Pet, yeah.
So yeah, so I think the only thing that's left is pretty much just the couple of growth like the couple so like the growth potions plus the like 240 to 250 growth potion. Not
Mm-hmm.
mistaken.
And in terms of like the Flames and Honor experience, did you get anything from non-reboot?
No. I no, not nothing. So,
Okay.
cause yeah, this is I haven't been playing for like over. It's been a while since I.
Oh
I've
yeah,
come
okay.
back.
That was a long time ago. So okay.
Right. Yeah. I think the last thing I remember was right around when Blaster came out.
Okay, a little bit ago. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, so it's been quite a few new classes and stuff.
Yeah, just a few.
And I haven't gotten to trying them all yet. Yeah, because I've been just trying to catch up with compensation first.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
build each a little bit, but
Yeah, you want to make sure you get that value and make sure you don't miss out on that for sure.
Right.
So, thank you, Sereneful, for the raid, by the way. Don't want to let that go by unnoticed. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, okay. So, what do you have any specific goals with this character? Any content you want to reach, or any party play you want to do with your friends that you got into it?
Yeah, for sure. I think just like pushing endgame content is my overall goal. Being able to push into probably, at this point, probably like clearing normal Lucid in a party efficiently, and just continuously pushing past that as well. So, yeah, just endgame bossing basically is what I find the most like engaging probably. So, especially with a group of friends who's able like to party up and do the bosses together, it's a lot more fun too.
So like up to Black Mage, like all the way there?
Black Mage is pretty
eventually?
lofty, I'd say. Eventually, maybe.
Yeah.
It's probably like a flex stretch goal down the line. It's only been like a month, then a little bit over a month. So
yeah, you have some time for sure.
Right. Yeah. We'll see.
And what have you cleared so far, like solo and with a party?
Yeah, so with my friends, we were able to get pretty close to clearing Easy Lucid. I think we just need to learn the mechanics a little bit more. And we'll probably be able to clear it. Well, right now with like all the we have like a bunch of the temporary buffs, right? With Tobin Hero plus
For sure.
like Hasty plus like we all did the like the Maple Cafe thing too, which is like
right.
a little bit
And the
but,
NX set right now, but that's it's temporary, but it's like 6 months, so it's quite a while.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, all of that
The
combined,
GMS.
it
Yeah,
does help you
it's a
quite a
pretty
bit.
good boost,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
For sure. I mean, and Adele is a very solid class, so that gets you there
Yeah, that's
pretty
for sure.
quickly too.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's that's what you almost did. And what is the hardest thing that you did clear? Like in a party, did you do Lotus Damien and like, did you like
Yeah,
2-man, 3-man,
yeah, we're able
4-man?
to. We're able to pretty quickly clear normal Lotus and Damien.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just doing that every week now, and I'm
Is that
pretty
like
sure
a?
I'm pretty close to soloing it as well.
Mm-hmm,
But
okay.
we're doing that in a party just because it saves time.
Yeah,
It's
for
not
sure.
like a
Yeah.
20-25 minute solo.
Yeah, just because you can 25 minutes solo doesn't mean that that's like
Yeah.
an efficient thing to do. Especially if,
Right.
if you're trying to get Abzo for like your whole team, for the whole crew,
Right.
then it's better to
Yeah.
have like 1 or 2 drops for everyone than to have 1 or 2 drops from one person, of course. And less time. And plus it leaves way more time over to grind a little bit and to get those levels up to get to the higher areas.
Yeah. For sure.
Okay, so you have the 2 highest batches of growth potions still left over, right? The 239 ones and
Yeah.
then 240. Yeah, okay. Okay. So you're just
Yeah.
planning to use them at like 237 or at 240 or?
Yeah, I'll probably use the 3 at 237, hit 240, and then I'll save the last one for however low.
Yep, however far you go. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the strongest things you've killed solo?
Solo, I've done just under whatever Lomian is, so probably like CPAP, CRA,
Ard Magnus, Akechi.
Hard Magnus. I haven't done a catchy yet, just
Okay.
because I think there's a quest line before that, and I haven't looked up the mechanics. But yeah, that's one of the bosses that I'm probably gonna do next.
Yeah,
just
the quest line's just a lot of holding down NPC chat, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's probably like an hour or so of just holding down NPC chat and killing a few monsters here and there. But it's like an 86 mil crystal every week, so it is pretty worth. Yeah, he's not super complicated. He's just pretty annoying, but you just focus on binding and bursting and then just dodging. Yeah, he's a little bit annoying, but the crystal's worth it.
Right. I'll do that one pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Just been lazy, but yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, just do it in your own time. So I noticed you switched up your hyperstats for training. Is that something you regularly do, switching between that?
I actually just recently switched it once, just because I was doing a couple of totems and wanted to maximize. Because I'm one-shotting anyway, I figured. So if I'm like I don't think it makes a difference for the bosses that I've been soloing. So I recently was able to do like Helix solo as well. So
okay, that's really cool.
with these as well. So yeah, I think I'm just keeping it for now. Just 'cause popping totems is probably optimal if I'm one-shotting anyway.
Yeah, as long as your team boss fights don't suffer from it, I guess.
Oh yeah. I think it's all right for now. Maybe for Lucid again, I'll try to swap it around. But yeah, I don't think we were quite close enough yet, just like mechanically. So
yeah, everything has a little bit of a startup time, of course.
Right.
Okay, and I guess the last thing is kind of like how, because you mentioned that you play a lot. Does that mean that you run out of totems and you have a lot of time available? Like, do you have any questions around like having a Kana farmer or something like that?
Yeah, so that's one of my questions in general. Is do you think it's like worth it to sort of prioritize building up a Kana farmer? I have one that I'm trying to level up to just like 190 to get the Absolab gear a little bit faster right now, just because this is the Adele's the only character I have that can do the weeklies thus far. So I know it's worth it just to like push the Kano up a little bit. But given the vac pet and everything, I was just thinking of probably just farming on my Adele and just double dipping on the like EXP while farming for the time being. Even though my rates are a little bit lower, I was sitting like close to 650 mil an hour off the totem. With I was prioritizing like just the Meso and drop gear to be able to farm efficiently, and I have the Meso inner ability right now as well. So
yeah, so Meso and low drop a little bit as well, so that adds a little bit. What's your set looking like with Meso and Mesoptine and?
Yeah, I'm pretty capped actually. So I have like the 100% Meso and I think 60 drop. So with decent HS, I'm pretty sure I'm already pushing the cap for Mesa bags as well. So I also have the familiar for Mesa drop and item drop. So
Oh,
or
right.
like
Yeah. Which one are you using? Is it like large amount of both?
no,
Or?
no, just the common one. Yeah, I opened over like 300 familiars to get that even initially. The or at
Mhm.
least the small item drop took forever to get. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like that. Yeah, if you have like 60 and some kind of familiar and holy symbol, then you're definitely pushing 100% for bags, so that's fine. And then your meso obtained from your gear, that adds up to 100?
yes, yeah,
Okay, yeah, then
and
you're good
then
on that.
also just like Legion wealths and WAPs from
Mm-hmm.
Threats of Fate. So
Exactly.
yeah, I've got I feel like hitting decent rates for meso farming. Like after a totem, having over a bill feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Go into a keeping session immediately. Yeah, yeah.
So
So
when
yeah, pretty.
sorry?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, uh, pretty, uh, pretty efficient. Or I feel like it's pretty efficient to just stick on the
Mm-hmm.
stick to farming on the Adele for now, at least with the back pet. So
Yeah, so basically yes to all of that. It does mean that if you find that you're like run out of totems pretty early before the month is over, or you have a schedule that allows for like small gaps in time where you can't really like dedicate a whole totem, then definitely having a Kana on the side that you can fill those gaps with is very good. But for now, I would just full send on the Adele and get it as far as possible, especially because that fact pad is not transferable and everything, right? So you
right,
can get major gains just from going to different maps and get easier gains getting those high rates, so that will definitely close the gap. And then once you get to the point on the Adele where the upgrades get so expensive that it just takes forever to make the money to make them, at that point that same amount of money can go into your Kana and help supplement and get there faster. But by that time you'll be able to afford those upgrades on the Kana much more quickly, and then they will start paying off much more quickly, whereas now they would go at a higher expense of how much you could be gaining on the Adele instead.
right, right. Yeah,
Is how I would
that
see
makes
it.
sense.
But yeah, slowly leveling up the Kana, right? Maybe doing some dailies once you get to 200 and stuff, so you can start building on the arcane power a little bit. It's probably a good idea for now, so that once you throw
Right,
the money on, that it can come online immediately. And also probably by that time your nodes on the Adele will probably start getting pretty solid, and then you can start dedicating some nodes to the Kana again without really going at a huge detriment to how strong your Adele is. But in return, you will get more value back from it. There is the added value, of course, of the changes that Tespia provided. If they push all of that through, you don't necessarily need the kind of farm in a low level area for the droplets and everything. That value is kind of gone, because as long as your Adele has enough drop rate, then you can also make droplets. But you'll probably want to make like both of them are probably going to have like a hybrid set between drop and meso, right? So none of them are going to go crazy on the drop rate side. So yeah, it'll just come down to like schedule and how many hours you have to put in, whether or not eventually it'll pay off, but how long that takes, that'll just totally depend on how much you play.
right. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. I haven't been close to capping totems thus far. I've only been like, this is. Well, I mean, I only recently got the got enough money to get the full set of like farming accessories for this Adele, so. Now that I've gotten it, I'll probably be popping more totems, but before this I was just primarily, I guess just grinding and then just doing weekly bosses for the money to be able to cube for the accessories. So I'll see, but yeah, I think 15 totems a month is also kind of a lot. I feel like I don't know if I'll be able to do that every month, but
it's I almost never finish mine. There's too much other stuff to do and too much time that I waste on speculating and just random shit talking in chat. So there's a lot of a lot of inefficiency going on for me as well. But eventually we'll get there.
Yeah, and it's also just a lot of I mean, it's a lot of just straight hard grinding as well that gets tedious over time. So I'll probably take it a little bit more chill and work on Legion and stuff more.
Yep.
Once I feel like I'm able to get my value out of the compensation. So
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. So speaking of the Legion, how's all that working out? You feel like in
Yeah, so
control for all of that? Because you already know like the classes and how they kind of work, right? Because of
right. Yeah, I know that it's definitely worthwhile to get at least hit like 6K Legion for like endgame bossing for the most part. So I'm working on it a bit slowly. It's just I mean, it's coming along a bit, but I guess I've been referencing your chart for like the optimal sort of
Yep.
pathing for the Legion. So yeah, the first thing I did on the account was just build up the 3 EXP links even before I chose just to main Adele. But now I'm working on just building up the general Legion as well. I'm probably gonna do I haven't gotten like all the decent damage links like what's it, like Demon Avenger. I'm working on that one.
All the damage percentage ones, arc and stuff. Do you have arc? Oh yeah, you have one, yeah.
Yeah, I have arc, yeah. That was actually the first character that I leveled up as well, because I was considering maining arc as well, but I liked Adele a little bit more. Yeah, so.
Arc is definitely a bit harder in the beginning than Adele. Just kind of like blows through everything all the time. Never really struggles with anything. Arc is a little bit of a learning curve early on.
Right. The cooldown management I think was a little bit more.
Yeah, I hated that in the beginning for sure. I didn't like it at all, but it got so ridiculously strong after a while that I couldn't like ignore that potential.
Right. I might do it as like a second main or something like that. I'm probably gonna grab the one droid heart on the arc as well.
Yeah, we only have a few days for those left. Do you have like a plan on how hard you want to go on that? Because it's like a lot of stuff, a lot of FOMO coming at you real hard when you. Like, it makes like, 2 days for this, 3 days for this, 4 days for that. Pick this up, yeah.
It eats up a lot of the time, yeah. So yeah, I grabbed the. I was farming the shop on the Kana when they removed the coin cap. Initially, I was like going ham on the jump quest, following your guides for that. So yeah, I was able to get like the full season 1 stuff on my main. I had like gotten. Or I'd gotten through like almost all the daily jump quests for the season 1 before they did the coin cap removal. I was like, oh well, might as well finish it up and grab like the Scardor or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing with my Adele. There was only like 2 more dailies to do. I was like, well, if I just do 2 more dailies, I could just get the Scardor anyway. Might as well do that. And then I don't have to farm either because I'll have enough coins from the season 1 completion is an extra 1,000, I think.
It's like 1,000, right.
Yeah, so then for the other ones, no way. Like either farm or just not do it at all. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. The season 3 farm. Yeah. So I'll probably do that. I'll probably like do it on a totem or something because actually it's a decent EXP. At like 140, I was able to like push over 10 levels on my Kana, just farming. Farming on the S3 map. So.
You do have the bonking stuff coming, right, with the anniversary.
Yeah. Events? Right. Yeah. I'll probably just do monster perk on each of my 140s to get it to 141 so I can bonk on the
yeah, should be like 1 or 2 runs, or maybe a run in a Zakrum or something like that. That's still like a little bit of EXP at 140.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bunch of free levels, especially if you're looking for just raw Legion levels. Just dividing the bonks over the low level characters is really good value.
Yeah, it seems pretty good for sure. So.
Yeah, if you put in hard on that, it should be. I mean, it's like 1 per account in the beginning, of course, right? Like 1 per day but then gets up to 3 per day if you rank it all the way up. So it does build up.
Is it per character or per account?
No, per day per account. Yeah. So.
Okay.
It's not like every single character can bonk. That'd be pretty nuts. I think they did that once for one event, and then they were like, no, that's a little bit too much.
Yeah, right. I was like, I'm gonna be playing like so much when that comes out, but yeah, okay, that makes it a lot less stressful in terms of how much that needs to be done. But
yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, it's probably still good to to pre-work on the coins a little bit on the different characters so that you can also do the ranking up on one of the mules that doesn't need bonking, but that can buy all the upgrades without detracting from your buying power from your main character.
Right. That makes sense.
It's always good. But yeah, as long as you're following like the general order there and you don't have any like specific questions, then I guess that's fine. Yeah, like bonus
yeah,
experience in your Legion is like a little bit alluring, but it's also a little bit of a trap because it's like very, very bad, right? Because it's like 1.5%
right.
for 6. It's got a little bit yikes.
Yeah.
But again, if you have 100% kill speed, then more
Right.
more
In terms
helps
of
you.
grinding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for Legion characters, probably want to throw it on critical rate, I think, right, to make them
for
a
sure.
lot stronger early on. But you do have those presets, so
Right.
do you?
Yeah.
But yeah, you seem to be doing well with the coins, so you can buy the upgrades whenever those are available. Probably saving up for those primarily, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the Legion upgrades, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been, I just doing the Legion dailies is, put me enough, way more than enough to buy the upgrades at the rate that I've been going, but I've been more recently spending some of those coins on the, Legion wealth, so.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, it's still going good, yeah. So. Cool. I had a question in regards to like, star forcing actually with like Legion. I heard that, or I know that star forcing increases like your Legion power.
Mm-hmm.
Is there like a recommended sort of star force that you go for on your Legion? I mean I know all your mules are like over 200 now. So
Yeah. Now that they have, but I think I honestly don't think it's too worth to worry about your star force unless your characters are like at 200 and you're working on like 8k Legion, or you're like at 6k and you're definitely not going for 8k. Then you work on the star force on your characters a bit. Mainly what people aim for is like 120 star force is like a good amount that you can get to as long as you unlock some extra equip slots. Maybe like a ring here and there, pendant, like get a few of the slots, and then 120 is pretty doable. Because it's like roughly every 60 star force that it scales up a bit, and then at 180 I think it scales up with every 40, I believe. So like then to 220 and then to 240 and then to something like that. But like 120 is like a pretty good goal to aim for. But levels are so much more important. So unless your characters are like at 200 and it wouldn't work on it too much, what you can do is of course is use one of those 1+1 Star Force events up to 10 to just the items that they already have to get them up to 12. But you might be surprised of how much money you end up spending on all of the characters just by just popping it to 12 on all of them. It does add up.
Yeah.
And you
12 is definitely.
You don't want it to detract. It's just the volume, because it's like, it's like 6 items on 8 characters. Oh, now it's 48 times the value, and you're like, oh, that's
right.
You can underestimate, because that's what I underestimate as well with like Project CRA being like, I'll just do the dailies and just unlock the things and be like, but if I multiply everything by 47, it's like everything takes a long time. People are like, oh, why aren't you getting this ring? It only takes like 40 minutes. It's like, well, 47 times 40 minutes is a lot of time. So I'm just gonna see if I could do it without first, and if I need it, I'll use it as a backup plan. But yeah, you'll just notice the Legion starting to snowball pretty well once you hit 3k. That's when you get 5 extra characters in, and the Legion board gets a bit bigger as well, and then you'll really start it working, because you'll also get access to more and more specialized links. Right now I'm assuming you just throw everything in that you have pretty much.
I'm not capped on the 12 links yet, which is it's probably my next priority once I I think I'm just gonna finish up like hitting 240 on my Adele and then go hard on Legion for a little bit of time and just do dailies. That's my plan for a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I did before in the Adele. I just started doing symbol dailies at level, I think, 214. And then now it's 235 as well, just from symbol dailies and from some of the level up potions. It's pretty crazy how they, you're kind of training a little bit every day.
Yeah.
And before you know it, you're suddenly like 230 plus. You're like, oh, it's fair. Okay, cool.
Yeah. The dailies actually give it. When I was just doing the Maple Cafe, which was kind of a lot actually.
Yeah, I saw that list and I was like, nope.
Right.
Not for me.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of EXP just doing those dailies, because getting that many not totems, runes and
portals and
yeah, portals.
Inferno Wolf nightmare.
Right. Just like leveling up a lot from that. So yeah.
That's how they trick you into doing fun events, and then
in retrospect, I probably wouldn't do that again. I bought the event pass day one and I was like, wait, holy
Yeah,
shit,
yeah. Some
this is
people
a
were
lot.
like, "I regret my decision, but now I made my bet, so I'm gonna have to lay in it," kind of
Right,
deal.
right. Yeah. Already spent the money. I gotta do it, yeah.
Yeah, sunk cost, hardcore.
Right.
Oh
It's
yeah,
all good.
these are
Yeah.
known strategies, so willingly participate.
Right.
Okay, so are there is there anything else with Lynx and Legion with the order in general? Any that you had any questions about? Like looking forward to Neo and the Terror Burns most likely coming in Neo.
Yeah, I think in your opinion, is it worth it to push like 210 links with those Terror Burns? So probably I was planning on just like remaking Mercedes potentially, and, like Evan,
Mhm.
because those links seem significantly better than like a Ron for the EXP, but
Yeah, I
not
like
sure
all
if it's
three. There's definitely a lot of value in getting those level 3 links just for the Legion building and for the training on your main as well. Whether you choose here to remake already, because I think it's definitely worth going for level 3 links if you're planning on like going from 6 to 8k Legion for sure. Getting up to 6k, just getting a whole Legion of 140s is pretty like straightforward and easy even without getting level 3 links. But if your only alternative is like maybe getting a character that you might want to boss with and then you feel forced to boss with it because you have a 210, and then it takes time away from you versus having the higher links and getting to that 6k Legion faster and maybe as a result wanting to go to 8k and leveling your main faster, that could, I mean, that might end up giving you more value as well. So it's kind of up to you. If there are a bunch of characters that you're looking forward to like bossing and trying to 5th job out with that you think you would really like, and ideally you hit the combo, right? Like maybe Mercedes or Evan is actually really cool to you at 5th job and you like it way more than you thought, and then maybe it becomes a bossing mule side character plus Legion Link mule, then that will be the ideal situation, of course.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
I think Mercedes gets actually pretty fun at 5th job. I hated every minute of getting it to 200.
I see.
But the 5th job is actually makes it way more fun, way more enjoyable, and once you play around
Gotcha.
with the combos a little bit, it actually wasn't half bad. Heaven is
Yeah,
just, yeah,
actually,
mages are just not my thing, but
I see. I see. Yeah, I actually like Mercedes quite a lot right now as it stands. It's
Mhm.
just I think if her damage is a little bit better, the combos feel pretty fun. So
Mhm.
I'm debating just getting that one to 210 off
Mhm.
burning, and then probably popping the. I didn't pop the level 200 to 210 potions yet
Mhm.
on a character. That from the competition because
Mhm.
I had already hit 210 prior to the
Yeah,
prior to
those
the
potions don't really age well. If you use those later, that give you almost nothing. So it's almost
right,
always better just pop them at a 20x character just to get those levels,
right. Yeah,
rather than
so
getting like
probably
1% or something at 230. It's like,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll probably use them on like Mercedes or Evan
Mhm.
if I decide to push those up to.
Yeah, yeah. Some in chat is also
Out.
saying if you bonk your way close to 200 and then do a little bit of training. So the other aspect I think that Terra Burning is really good for is to get characters leveled up that you hate playing. So if you think you already like the Mercedes a bit, then like a combination of bonking and training, because you'll have to train to get coins to be able to bonk anyway. Like the combination of training and bonking should get you to 200 pretty quickly. Then the level up potions and the 5th job will drag you to 210. I think pretty reliably, but then that means that the Terror Burn is now freed up for a character that you might absolutely hate. That would give you something really good for your account as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'll probably I'll probably like burn a Hayato then.
Yeah, if you don't like
Even though I have
Hayato, the level
that Hayato
200,
is good.
the crit damage, and Hayato becomes a completely new character at 200. I think actually becomes really strong and quite enjoyable at 200. But before it's just really clunky.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it too much, but the mobility is like, and then because of my EU ping, I always double tap all my skills, so always the up jumping on the portals and shit was so
I
annoying.
see. Yeah, I see for sure. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's pretty sensible. Yeah,
Yep.
I'll probably wait until. Well, I guess that's all altogether. Like the bonking is before the Neo Terror Burns come out, right? So,
Yeah, the bonking is during the anniversary event, so that's going to start next Wednesday until like June 8th, I guess, and then June 9th should be the Neo update until, I don't know, probably like end of July or something, maybe early August, something like that.
Gotcha. Right.
Yep.
Yeah. I'll probably plan out once I see how much bonking we're able to get. I'll probably work on like the Mercedes. Yeah, it's good.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Yeah, and there's also like I think Neo also had the Faxolab weapon, so you could use that also on something to kind of to help it get up to 200 or up to 210 as like a, you know, maybe if the Evan bonks up to like 180 or something, dropping a Faxolab on that one, maybe we'll get it enough extra damage to get it to 210, something like that.
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Yeah, then you can kind of spread the value of the whole event over more characters, and that'll just get you more total levels out of it.
Right. So the Faxolab is just it's coming for free in Neo. It's just a.
I think you have to complete both of the Terror Burns, like to get both of them to 200 and like finish, and then I think you get the box for free. At least that's what KMS did. So.
I see, and it's like transferable within the account. You don't have to open it up on like a Terror Burn character.
Yeah, exactly, like a transferable box, and you can open it wherever you want. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool.
We get Maple Relays. Yeah, they've been doing Relays a lot. I don't know if they'll do Relay on top of Neo. And then Relays always come in 2s as well. That's always something to look out for, but no announcement for that as I know.
Oh, what is Maple Relay? Is that a similar level?
That's like log in X amount of time every day, and then either collect rewards or do like a certain challenge within that time, and then or within the day, and then collect the rewards, and then based on how many rewards you collected, you can get like big rewards, and then one of those at the end is usually also the Faxolab weapons. That's usually how we get them.
I see. Gotcha.
So that's usually just reward for logging in every day and playing basically.
Gotcha.
But like over a long period of time, and then usually when that ends, there's just like another one right after it. So they're just like forcing you to just always be there, always play, always log in. Yeah.
So it's like an extra fairy bros basically.
Yeah, exactly. Just on top of that, like the daily login and the golden bros and the Just make sure you tick all of those boxes and click every day. Very important.
Right. Okay.
All right. I think that takes care of all the Legion and Link questions and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Did you have any other questions with familiars, or is that system pretty clear to you?
I think familiars make sense. It's just I've been grabbing them on my mule, or the Legion mules when I'm leveling up and transferring to my main. And if I they don't drop until like 245, I heard, right? For the Moonbridge mobs.
Well, yeah, they drop by the lower levels, right? But once you hit the Arcane River, then not until Moonbridge, yeah.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, so I haven't been like farming them. I've just been picking them up on the mules and then transferring them over. But yeah, hoping for more like item drop, I guess, is the only thing I care about right now.
Yeah.
Or I guess the IED as well, but I haven't opened any of those still. So.
Yeah, 15% IED is really, really cool. And then, of course, if you can get like item drop without any prefix or suffix, just regular item drop, that's also pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, that's basically the only thing you can get on normal or common or rare, and then everything else you can just extract to get some booster packs maybe if you have a lot of points. And then at 245, then you can start like fusing and all of that stuff.
Makes sense.
You can start that hellhole, which that's what in chat do, like, oh, I made 9 uniques. I didn't get anything on any one of them. It's like, oh cool.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah. Or I think Kala just failed like 8 or 9 50% upgrades to unique and didn't get it yet. So it's just the beauty of 50%. It works half the time, half of the time, sometimes or something.
Right. Yeah, I think I failed like 9 50% epic pots in a row.
Yeah, that's one you hear a lot. Yeah, I think I saw screenshots of someone like failing 14 or something. You just gotta help but feel just really bad about everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so everything besides that with familiars is pretty clear. I guess going for more badges and stuff. That's also something for later once you have a little bit of time on the side and not as preoccupied, not as busy with all the one droid and
Right.
leveling and compensation and all that stuff
Right.
together.
Right. I haven't hit like a third familiar that's even worth it. Like I don't think the Meso drop is actually even necessary for me at this point. So the
Yeah, maybe not.
yeah, I don't even need the I don't have a second familiar to use yet. So
It'd be
yeah,
fine if you. I mean, you always want to use at least one second familiar, right, for the defense stat, so that it doesn't deplete your bar as quickly.
oh, so it's the combined defense that.
Yes, the combined defense.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
gotcha,
little
okay.
counterintuitive. It's like you have more familiars, so your bar depletes slower. It's a little bit counterintuitive, but that's
I see.
they just add the defense together. So the more total
Oh,
defense,
okay, okay.
the longer you can
That's good
keep your
to know.
familiars. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah, I didn't know that. I wasn't sure if it like depleted faster with two familiars, 'cause, like both of them are attacking sometimes or not. But that makes sense. Or that's good to know for sure.
Yep.
Cool.
So when it comes to like matrix and skills there, do you have any questions with anything there?
I guess do you happen to have like specialized knowledge on Adele a little bit? I had a couple questions on a couple of the nodes.
I could try. I have an Adele myself. I know a little bit about it.
Do you know if like the conversion overdrive is good end game? That's something that's used on Adele, right? Is that?
Yeah, you do use it, yeah.
Okay, okay. I'll keep that then. And then the Urda showers, is that something that Adele uses at all?
I don't think so, because you already
Okay,
have so much stuff flying around and hitting
right.
everything. I know some people like swear by Urda Shower on like every character just to always have another AoE, but
Oh,
I
okay.
think that you can have so much good stuff already. There's very few characters where I consider Urda Showers, like on a marksman maybe, on a bishop, you know, like characters that really
Right.
don't have any AoEs, or the AoEs they have, the hitbox is pretty dog water. I think Adele already has so much cool shit that they can throw around that I don't think Urda Shower is ever like a thing to use on there. Yeah, Conversion Overdrive is a little bit weird, but it's like a interesting skill, and it does something for both mobbing and bossing, which is kind of cool. But it looks at your so basically when you use it, you get a damage buff, and that does go up as you level it, so it becomes like a nice extra buff to use when you're bossing. And then it creates those explosions around the map every now and then. And then whenever the explosion is created, it resets your damage buff based on your MP to HP ratio. So if you keep your if you keep your MP up, then it's always like, you know, the buff just refreshes, and the explosion just does a little bit of extra damage.
I see.
So,
I haven't actually
you know.
used it yet, and the description is pretty confusing. So yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty wordy. You're probably getting up to the point now, right, when you're starting to like consolidate some of the boost nodes. You don't want to go too much higher on these because you're gonna have to extract some of these, right?
Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just supplementing my main boost skills with. So I have like I think I have like 4 perfect trinodes already that are set that I'm trying to boost up primarily, but
Yeah.
I have a couple of other ones that are just supplementing because I feel like I get more power from those than at least
From the skill nodes.
Right, especially for mobbing or just training. The boost nodes probably do more than like the random like cooldown skill buff or whatever. So,
Have you noticed the attack speed like taking a bit of a hit like a patch ago or something?
the attack speed?
Yeah, I noticed my base attack speed on the Adele just kind of went limp.
Oh really? I don't think I noticed that personally, but I might be ping related or something like that. Do you figure?
I'm not sure.
Not too sure.
Yeah, I've heard other people in the chat mention it as well, that there's something about the speed infusion no longer stacking with green pot or something. I don't know, something weird.
Oh, I see. I haven't been using speed infusion green pot for training. I just pop green pot when I train, but it feels pretty like the swings come out fast enough that I feel like I don't really need to hit like max attack speed while training. So
yeah,
maybe
and a bunch of your skills just kind of hit anyway.
Yeah,
they don't get faster with the higher attack speed anyway. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because my main thing that I'm looking at is like level 1 weapon aura. I don't know how much value that really gives. Uptime is not that good, right?
Right.
And especially if you're jumping around the map a lot, you have to specifically use it so that weapon aura does something useful for you. Because otherwise, most of the time, it just like casts the monsters in front of you that you're already going to be killing anyway.
Right. Yeah. I was training at D Cup, which is that map where you like jump across and then you
Right,
like fall in
right.
the pit. Yeah. So I had a friend tell me that Weapon Aura was pretty good for like hitting
Yeah,
the middle section there.
exactly.
So
Yeah,
I
because it
just
slashes the
threw it
middle.
on.
Yeah, that's a map
Yeah.
where it would probably be useful. True, true.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just threw it on for now, but yeah, it definitely doesn't seem like it's super impactful in general yet. So
Yeah, if
yeah.
you level it up, I mean, it's final damage and IED, so that's always like good to have for bosses. And
Right.
then when you max it out, it's really high uptime. I think it's 140
Yeah.
seconds out of 3 minutes or
Yeah.
something, so it gets really
Yeah. I
good
saw
then.
that. Yeah, it seemed really good once you maxed it out, but yeah, I
Hmm.
don't even have like decent HS maxed out yet, so
Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
usually a one that. I mean, I don't usually max it, but yeah, I do get it to like
Okay.
level 16, 18, something like that.
Right.
Because there's
Yeah.
some drop off at the higher levels where it's like, oh,
Yeah,
get
for
3
sure. It's
levels for
probably
just 1% EXP. It's like, I'd
right.
rather use those shards somewhere else.
Right.
Get the,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Do you know if it's worth it to still be open? So I heard your advice before that it's generally worth it to, I guess, depending on your class probably, but to like craft the node stones and open
Hmm.
them up. I was doing that for the Maple Cafe because I just needed node stones to complete that.
Yeah.
But
Hmm.
is that still probably worth it to do in general, just to get a spread of
Yeah,
like
you don't have too many junk skills, I don't think, right? Maybe like 3?
on Adele?
Like you have Impale, you have the green thing,
Right. Yeah. Impale.
and then the first job or second job skill.
Right. It's the the first job skill as well as I guess the Impale resonance rush. Yeah, so like 3 probably seems about
Yeah,
right.
3 or 4,
The
yeah.
jump.
I think that's I think that's a decent amount of outs to still have value. I think as long as you're still maxing out your boost nodes, it's probably still pretty good value.
Okay.
But
And
yeah,
then
once you're your max like boost nodes, I think then it's better to just like craft full on skill nodes.
correct.
And from
Gotcha.
what I heard, the Infinity Blade is a big part of your burst, so that's probably one
Yeah,
of your
for
priority for for
Makes
maxing
sense.
out. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I'll probably do that up to the point that I max those boost nodes out then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess in a map where you're now, Storm doesn't do all that much.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit during looting, like you pop it and then you go around the map, loot, and then you clear a little bit better maybe.
Right.
But you can
Right.
also use Infinity Blade during that, so.
Right. Yeah, I was using Storm before, so swapping out for the weapon aura just to
Right,
try
yeah.
it out, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure the rates are like comparable.
Right. Yeah. Storm's probably actually better than the remembrance thing with the 8 swords as well.
Yeah,
Right?
maybe as well. I wasn't using that one for a while on my Adele. Like at this point, I was using it, but I had more nodes starting out, so I was immediately just 4 boost nodes and going harder on the 4 boost nodes. So I never had to use more than 4. So I had the slots available a little bit sooner.
Gotcha.
So I've used like Speed Infusion and I guess Arachnid Reflection once I got here, but then I used the
Right.
Remembrance. Then once at 235, I swapped out something else. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, you have Adele has a really, because of the kit, you don't need to rely on your big burst skills to have a lot of burst, which means that once you level up, you just get those burst skills like for free on top of everything, on top of how strong you already are, and that just piles on even more. So that feels really good that you can. It's like you're getting more scaling just because you get access to extra skills that scale with everything.
Right. For sure. Yeah, I know what you mean for sure, yeah.
Onyx and Jet said boost nodes before skill nodes. Generally for every character, yeah, because the skill nodes typically don't give you that much extra benefit for leveling them. It's just a higher percentage. Some skill nodes will give you a higher uptime or higher multipliers, in which sense those are pretty useful. But that just means they become the highest priority after you're done with your boost nodes, because your boost nodes are skills that you're using all the time, that you have 100% uptime on, and that are going to be the main sources of your damage. There are a few exceptions in the game. But the only main exception I could think of, for example, is like Lord of the Deep for Buccaneer, because they basically just hop around with Lord of the Deep. It's kind of like Adele with permanent swords up kind of thing, and that you level up those, increase the damage for those swords. That's kind of like what you want to compare it with. It's like you have permanently Storm on, almost. And then you would want to level up the Storm first, of course. But since that's not 100% uptime, yeah, definitely boost nodes first. Big value there. Yeah, and like Blink, right? Start leveling Blink, I guess. If you saw the changes for KMS.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah, I'm probably gonna stop disenchanting Blink. I
Yeah.
I saw the changes. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. It seems like it's probably gonna be like an end game slot in.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
by the time we get it, you'll probably be like 250 or 255, so then you might have room for it. Because, I mean, it's months away, of course, so.
Right.
But that's the beauty
Yeah.
about being so many months behind, is that we can already start saving.
Yeah, take advantage of the patch notes ahead of time.
Yeah, it was crazy when they announced that they were going to go for arcane symbols from 15 to 20. And we just immediately started saving up, and then we had 6 months of symbols to immediately dump in once the change happened for us.
I see.
I remember on day 1 just maxing out my choo-choo symbol from 15 to 20 like immediately. That's pretty yeah, that's really that's the really positive thing about like being behind the curve.
Right.
Imagine being
right.
KMS and being like, "Oh, starting next week you can start leveling it," and then you're like, "Oh god." Like if I
Yeah.
had saved them up for the last months, like I would have, yeah, they can never really get that.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
I actually didn't realize that they had increased that cap.
Yeah, some people are actually
don't
dreading that
cap
they
it.
would take it up to 25 because technically that's in the
Oh.
code, but like it makes no
I
sense
see.
when you look at the numbers. Like it doesn't add any advantage, like any 10% or 30% or 50% on top of the current if you do those levels. Plus, it would lock everyone into the areas even longer. And if you look at the exponential curve on it as well, it's so many symbols after a while, like up to 24 to 25
Right.
is like. It's like a half a year just for one level. But then they added Authentic Force anyway, which is going to take like, I think, did you, they said it during the player conference. Someone asked like, how long does it take to max out Authentic Force? And I think they said it was 3 years. I was like,
Right, yeah, I remember.
you think the 11 months for symbols is like wrong? Oh, 900 days. Yeah, exactly. Like,
900 days.
I like how the reply was just like 900 days nothing, and I was like, what?
Right.
That's pretty that's a
Yeah.
while. Yeah.
Well, they gotta make like grinding goals for for the end game, right?
Yeah. I mean, well, the guys saying that they were going for 300 did the maths, and they said at like all of the experience they were getting per day, it would take roughly 5 years to get to 300. So.
Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah. There's probably gonna be some stuff that comes out before then, but that's quite a prospect, you know.
Right. Well, I guess like 250 was like pretty insane when it initially came out as well.
And 275 was like
Right.
unfathomably high when it came out, but it does get a little bit crazier every time though.
Right.
Like 200 was crazy when it came out, 250 was crazy when it came out. Everything gets a little bit crazy, but yeah, it gets more crazy every single time compared to,
Right.
which only means that there are probably some like, you know, nuts power creep stuff somewhere down in the pipeline.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but make sure that you don't overlevel the current boost nodes that you're not going to be keeping with, because with the shards and everything, the efficiency is going to be lower and lower the higher you go. So don't want to waste those shards too much.
Yeah, this is probably the point where I'm just gonna focus on those last or those main perfect
Yeah, because
tries
you're
and then-
past 40, you're approaching 60 on some of them, so
Right.
it's a good moment to start like consolidating.
Right, for sure.
Right. Anything else with matrix or skills that you were wondering with?
No, I think that covers it for sure.
Notice you have the Resonance Rush healing. I don't know if people use that one.
I see. Yeah, I was like, I wasn't sure which ones were super. I read on like Reddit somebody.
I had this one in the beginning, and I thought it was actually kind of useful, but then people said I should switch it. I don't know.
I grabbed it because when I was like whenever I first log in, sometimes I like use my mobility skills to get around a little bit, and you like can't when you don't have it.
Yeah. True.
So I was like, maybe it is useful, but
yeah, I think I don't know if the boss rush trigger gets used, or apparently the true ability shield right now is pretty broken with how much it heals you, or like how big of a shield it gives.
Yeah, I heard that was really, really good, but I know they're nerfing it pretty soon with Neo, so I figured like
Well, that's June,
Might as
right?
well not get
That's
used to it.
that's like 2 months from now. Yeah, no, but that
Right.
yeah, that is true. You want to make sure you don't rely on it,
Right.
because then it feels
Exactly.
even
Yeah.
worse when you lose it
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If they're
just
gonna
gonna be
take it away, I was like, might as well not like feel like I need it right now. So yeah.
Wait, JHK, what do you use as your I don't think you use this one, right? Do you use the boss rush one instead?
I had boss rush initially allocated, but I swapped it out for the rest
Yeah,
of the
I don't know if
special
it's that big of a
try.
difference because I mean you just
Yeah.
burst down bosses anyway.
Yeah.
You don't really stand a chance anyway. Yeah.
Right.
Now will to live. No, I guess maybe the other guard is also not very necessary. The short cooldown already is. That change is gonna make it a little bit different for you only use the reinforced. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because the Aether Guard's also getting nerfed anyway, so.
But you only use reinforce on trigger. Wait, so you use guard break for what? For other guard, or for true nobility, and then keep the same. Yeah, I guess when your kit is very solid, then you're already doing the damage. Then ID and boss damage is not super necessary. Is the guard break is a little bit lower too, right? It's only like a 10%.
I think it's 20% still.
Or is it a 20? Okay.
Yeah, but I guess it's not your main, like in terms of your total DPM endgame, the actual trigger skill is probably not a large portion of it as well, so it's probably just the overall utility that's more valuable at that point. That's what I figured.
Refrain, Bloom, and True Nobility. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, so JHK uses, instead of guard break, uses True Nobility, but then uses the same as what you have.
Right, that makes sense.
The utility is so much better than 20 boss. Yeah, I guess you don't really struggle on whether you can kill it, but, well, not because of if you have enough damage, but because of surviving, yeah, and then that makes sense to switch it out.
Right. Yeah, it's not like like your trigger skill is not like the major part of your DPM anyway, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other part, yeah. If it would impact like all of your skills, then it'd be like,
right.
Well, yeah, then it might
more
count a bit high. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think that takes care of all the skills.
Yeah.
And stuff. Cool. Okay. All right. So specifically for your character, I think like your invulnerability is fine for now, right? There's no real need to go crazy with that. Just saving up honor experience, and then once you like hit a wall leveling wise, you can kind of look around and see how do I want to proceed from here.
Yeah.
And then you'll have more options because you'll have more honor experience.
Right. I'll probably keep that for quite some time for now. Yeah. It's yeah. It's probably more worth it than just a little bit more boss damage. Or I heard the other one was like the cooldown skip for Adele is pretty good. Is that still?
That's what I heard. Yeah. Yeah, either boss or cooldown skip. Like cooldown skip is of course a little bit more RNG, but I think on average it ends up paying off because of all the internal cooldowns Adele has as well. But boss would be a little bit more, straightforward or less min-maxy, I guess.
Yeah, it's just some more utility in general.
Yeah, for me it was a bit annoying because I rolled a circ with 20 boss and 10% crit. I was like, ooh, that's pretty, that's pretty good early on. But then, I rolled like a free circ, and that one had 10% cooldown skip on the second line, and then a little bit of drop on the bottom one. So I was like, ooh. So I basically switched that, and then I think in 3 rolls I got like 19 meso-obtain on the top. So I was like, okay, well, that's just gonna stay with me for a while then.
Right. That's
solid. Yeah, because you don't really need it for bossing, and it's more like what you said again with the hyperscale. Like if you learn to not rely on it, then once you do get to the point where you can make the upgrade, that's going to be so much bigger of an upgrade than anything else you can make, because everything else is going to be so insanely expensive at that point.
Right. That makes sense.
What's the ring on the bottom? That's where all the totems are. U Garden.
Yeah, the U Garden. Yeah. I was just trying to. I was looking up like where to get potable rings. So I was just running like the Silent Crusader ring for a while, and I figured just potable rings in general is
Can you start? I think you can start first, right?
You can, yeah. The U Garden ring, the Noble Ifia, and the Treasure Hunter Johns are all like pretty good. Pretty good early game rings, I think.
Yeah, pretty easy to get access to. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're already going for the totems, you know, you might as well complete the quest there. It's about the same,
Right.
I think. Yeah, it's about the same.
Yeah. I was just doing it
1, 2.
for the ring plus the epic pots, I think.
Mm-hmm.
You got.
So you have the 9 set bonus now.
For boss set, yes.
Yeah.
Right. For gear upgrades, I think my plan is to finish up Absolab, and then work on accessories, getting like actual damage accessories, because right now they're all drop in Meso for farming.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, now that I can solo Helix, at least for the time being, with all the buffs and stuff, I was just getting like coin carries, and one of my guildies got the superior earring drop, and he said I could take it, so that was also pretty nice.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, hopefully I can get the belt from a drop before I need to before I hit like another 700 coins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I actually
Hopefully.
I hit like a double I hit like a double prime with like the item drop and Mesa line on my superior ring, so I was like, I probably want to keep that for not roll over that for some time, so I'm probably gonna need to buy another superior ring if I want to keep that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course you roll that on superior,
Right.
you know, out of all the
Right.
items. Yeah, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, at this point, and especially with an Adele as well, if you're in drop rate or meso, and the drop and meso gears have like 1 line of strength on it, you can still clear all the content near your level. Your kit is just so much better than all the people around your level anyway. That it's,
Right. Yeah.
you're not really struggling with anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then again, once you get used to that, and then with that you make more money along the way, then once you make a big upgrade, it's going to feel even better to make those big upgrades later on.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So you're planning to, so the first step you said like finish Abzo, so you're planning to transfer Hammer over?
Yeah, so I have some fodder gear set up from the recent 30% off event. I foddered up like pretty much all the necessary gear for moving into Abso, I think. So, yeah. And then
did you do a belt? Yeah, you got the belt. Okay.
Yeah, so my belt is yeah. I hit them to 6. It probably would have been more optimal to wait to the 5, 10, 15 for the 16 star, but I was pretty lucky with most of my 16 stars and hit them in like 1 or 2. So
sure,
it ended up being pretty worth it. But
and how much money do you have to work with? Like, let's say that the event comes out. Let's say the 5, 10, 15 comes out, and are you just going to be like, okay, 16 transfer 16, 17, or are you thinking of maybe holding out a little bit more and pushing? Because mainly if the character is not, in dire need of damage, sometimes that can help you out a lot, and you're kind of in a good position as well, because it's not like you already have like legendary 2 or 3 line potential on those items, so you don't have to redo that either. So that's kind of like a good position to consider that.
Gotcha, I see. So is it at that point? Is it worth it to that makes sense, because the Abso gear I'm sort of gated on weeklies, so it's probably not worth it to be like directly star forcing those. It's probably better to just fodder them up still.
Yeah, the boom chance, like if you safeguard up to 17, boom chance to 18 is like, that's pretty low. The question also is like, how far do you even want to go beyond 17 with Arcane being more and more accessible? Right,
that's the thing that I heard as well, is that like 17 star Arcane is the equivalent roughly to like the 22 star Abso. Is that true?
It's not that high, but it's I think it's about as strong, or maybe a bit stronger than 20. It's probably weaker than 21, but it's like I think it's a bit stronger than 20.
Gotcha.
Like around there, but the weapon is like the main. I think so like full. So if you would have full 22 Abzo, then I think full 17 Abzo comes close. But if you would have like 21 Abzo with a 17 weapon, then you're like at then you're that will be stronger than like just 17 star Arcane, because the weapon is like the biggest part of the whole thing. So if you take that one out of the equation with more Abzo, then that outlast. But of course, it's more money invested, more more reliant on the events to have all the money at that time. Because getting to 17, even though it's expensive on Arcane, of course, it's not as expensive to get to 17 on Arcane as it is, well, or shouldn't be on average, is to get to like 21 or to 22 and then transfer over with Abzo and then maybe booming one, having to restart that. That can get pretty tricky.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm not too sure what's more optimal to go for at this point. I'm probably just gonna start stockpiling money for the 5, 10, 15 though, and then because I heard it's probably approximately May, right?
We just have to wait until the patch note. Hopefully we get the patch notes next Tuesday, hopefully, and then we could just see the Sunny Sundays. I guessing there might be one in this batch. My calculations are correct. I just feel uncomfortable going by what the KMS events had in the Sunny Sundays because of the rearranging and the different dates that they throw the updates at us. So I just usually wait for confirmation on the patch notes. Could be right, could be wrong. So I just want to wait just to make sure. But always in the back of your head, you want to think like, what if one happens? Like, be prepared for that and don't make any major. So like, if you see the announcement and there's none of them in there, then either you can be like, okay, drop money right now, or be like, okay, I'm gonna save even higher, and then definitely be prepared the next time it comes around, something like that.
I see. That makes sense. Do you think it's more worth it to 22-star accessories first over these equips, just to leave the option open to like potentially just go straight to Arcane 17-star instead of like pushing 22-star Abzo?
Usually I'm a huge proponent of 21 starring first and trying to get 21 on everything because it's just way safer and way more attainable than 22. And then once you have everything 21, then I think it's perfectly fine to like slowly start pushing things out to 22. Unless you're already like more than strong enough without the accessory, then of course you can just try to 22 and until it doesn't. But you need probably like higher level of income and like more game time and everything to make sure that you can like fund that hobby because it can get pretty expensive pretty quickly.
Right. How much is a 22-star on average? Is it? A friend told me it was like 8 bill. Is that too low of a ballpark? On average?
I'll throw it into the calculator. Let's see.
22-star.
The main thing for accessories, of course, is like the backups and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, during 5 and 15, it does come out quite a bit cheaper. If you safeguard, if you don't safeguard, it looks more like 15 to 20 to me.
15 to 20. Okay.
It's a bit higher.
Okay, gotcha.
For booms without safeguard, and with safeguard it's more like 17 to 25, looking like it.
Yeah.
Or you could be, like JHK in the chat and just spend like 2.5. So average. On a 162 actually, which is an off event.
Wow.
And then probably without safeguarding, so that on average that's somewhere between 24 and 34, and he got in 2.5. So that's about 10% of the value. 9 years of bad luck coming your way, JHK. And he boomed twice when the median boom is 8, and the average booms is 12.
8 booms. Okay. Okay, that's. I don't think I like really looked into how expensive it was. That's pretty nutty. I see.
Yeah, so that's why for 160, that's why I do mention 18 stars for Abzo, because if you safeguard Abzo up to 18 during a 5, 10, 15, the chance of booming is like average booms is 0.07.
You only boom. I mean, you only safeguard the 16 to 17, right? So it's a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
As well, because I see. Makes sense.
So there is still, there's still risk to boom, but like even between, if you do 5 items, right? Then you have like a total of roughly 0.35, which is like 1 in 3 chance of one item booming. I think that's pretty low risk. Yeah, and for 17 to 18, and then instead, like once that's 18, then just definitely push on accessories and that kind of stuff. Which does mean that do you want to double push, right, for things like the earring and for the belt? as in like go 18, go like 16 swap, go up to 17, and then get potential on it, and then get used to that, and then having to do another one like 21 or maybe 22 and transfer over, or do you do that in one go if your character doesn't really need the damage right now? Because in the long term, that saves you more money, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, then.
And in general, if you're doing the fodder, is it like you fodder up to, if you're pushing for like the 20 plus range, you push the fodder to 21 and then transfer it? Is that?
Yeah, there's two ways. You could do 22 and then transfer to 21, or you do 21, transfer to 20, and then push only to 21 again. The first one is safer but more expensive, and the second one is a bit cheaper but a little bit riskier.
Gotcha.
And then the cheapest one, that's the most risky, is just pushing it on the item itself, of course. But, like if you don't have to transfer over, that's always going to be the cheaper option on average. But you need the backups, of course. You typically don't have like a bunch of superior earrings lying around to be like, oh, let's just do that.
Exactly.
You could, if by the time the event rolls around, you actually have 2 or 3 of them, then you could be like, well, I'm just going to try one. It doesn't work. Okay, then, backup route. Because you just want to look at it in terms of Star Force. Like, so what is easier, getting to 21 once, getting to 21 twice from 20, or getting to 22 once from 20? And that's basically how you look at the whole structure, right? Like, okay, getting to 21 once is the cheapest, obviously. Okay, so that's on the earring itself. Getting to 21 from 20 would be the second one. Well, that would be 21 transfer and then 20 to 21 again. And then the hardest would be to getting from 20 to 22 once. That would be the hardest to do. So that's how you can like classify like how expensive is it going to be versus how risky is it going to be.
I see. That makes sense.
And that will be informed by how much money do you have at the time and how many backups do you have at the time. But that's mainly an option for, I would say, earring and basically for the superior Golic stuff, right? For the earring, the belt, maybe for the pendant, right? If you're going from like Dominator into a high star Dominator into superior. And if you're maybe going for like Meister Ring, high star Meister Ring or high star Conor Treasure Ring if you get backups into the superior ring, something like that. So it's mainly, that way that you're, But yeah, that sub bonus is really, really juicy, so you want to get that online, but heavily time gated, of course.
Right.
But your ID is already fine, Nick, without the set bonus anyway.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's fine because of supplementary. We have like plus 30 from the.
Yeah. Well, but you were also not relying on familiars at all, so with the familiars that will definitely carry some of that weight immediately as well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's how you kind of want to puzzle. Because we didn't really get into IED yet. Is that all familiar with you? Like how that's calculated and how that works exactly?
Yeah, for the most part, I think, yeah. The big chunks that you want. Yeah, like that's I know that once I hit the 6k Legion, that'll be supplemented as well, because 40k from that, plus 40 from that's pretty large.
Yep.
And then so when I hit like 4-set Golics plus the Legion, I'll probably be about at the same level. Not a little bit better too, because I'll have the familiars by then probably as well. So,
yeah, and then you should be able to roll out of any IED on your WSC as well.
Right.
And that'll still be high enough afterwards.
I got pretty good rolls in my WSC for now, I think.
Yeah, that's very solid. Well, I mean, on your SE, I guess, the roll in the W, you can't really take too much credit for that one.
Right.
Kind of
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I was looking at the flame on your weapon, but like, ideally you want to get the higher tier attack, but you do have the strength and a 10 boss with it, so I think that kind of sweetens the deal for now.
Exactly. Yeah, I was about to re-roll it the other day, but I was like, nah. If I get something worse than this, I'll feel bad. So
yeah, you feel really bad. Yeah, there's probably some other stuff to re-roll first. So regardless of how you do plan to go on with the Abzo, because I think your options are clear there, right?
Right.
Regardless of how you go, you can already like flame on the Abzo, and it'll just keep, if you transfer hammer over or if you keep the items, like it'll always keep the flame, so you can push the Abzo flames a little bit more. Of course, long term will be like flaming the Dom, right? Because the transposing memes.
Right. Yeah, I've been throwing all my flames on the Dom for the time being, just to see if I can get that ready for transposing, but I should probably prioritize the general gear to like What
Yeah,
would
so
you
there's
say,
like
like
an
maybe like
acceptable,
80?
like if all the Abzo stuff is at least at like 80, 85 or something, and all the CRA is like around 70, 75.
Okay, the
That like
rest.
beyond that is still definitely very plausible, but it starts costing so many flames that and it becomes a little bit unnecessary because of how strong your character is. So at that point, I think it's probably a good idea to like reroute to the Dominator, and maybe a pet mark if you get that, and then just throw like the temps in, and then mainly just save money for star forcing events, and then just finalizing the potentials and stuff. And then the main thing is going to be like saving up for huge star forcing events, gathering backups, and then
Right.
yeah, and then you can think of like big flaming sessions on something like a Dominator or a pet mark if you're really like, okay, I'm done with these guys, I'm actually gonna like buy flames and dump them on them. Yeah, then, but other than that, I usually don't buy flames, so you just get a lot through bossing, and then that just helps out.
Yeah.
And like on the side,
Yeah, over time. Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
That makes sense.
Is there any equip specifically that you're like still wondering, like what is the good next step to go for that?
I guess to confirm, it's probably I mean, so after Abso, it's probably just working on those accessories, grabbing like Connor ring once it drops. I've been doing Princess No like every week with like as much drop rate as possible, and no luck yet. But yeah, I
the
think
guaranteed
that,
one was more fun, but now you have a chance for more drops. It's like it's a little bit of a give and take.
yeah, I mean, it's a good change overall because I think the overall power you get from being able to farm it is like massive in comparison just to the one. But yeah,
it spreads the risk. You don't have to rely as heavily on the reinforced ring, maybe, which of course that coin cost is quite steep on top of all of the other coin costs you already have.
Right. Yeah, and the Meister ring as well. So I'll probably work on those next, and then I guess work on the Dawn pendant as well. Then for accessories, I think is it worth it to wait for like a black bean mark drop? I heard that it's, I mean, I know it's a little bit more optimal than this like the Zakum eye accessory, and
yeah,
the
some
black
people
bean mark
like it more because it can go past 20 stars potentially, and also because even if you switch all the other stuff out for the Gollux things, it keeps with the badge and the cup, it keeps the 3 set bonus alive as well.
Right.
So that is definitely something you can consider. For endgame though, or for late in end, you'll always want to just go for the thing that you can get more backups on. And the thing is, eventually you could say like, oh, I'm going to keep the black beam mark, but like, are you really going to get it past 17? Or you're going to get like stuck on 17 there because you don't want to get rid of the set bonus, but then at the same time not getting a pap mark because it's too rare. And then you're in the situation where you probably still want to go for a monocle because it'll be, you can get backups in case you boom. And then in the grand scheme of things, was the black beam mark actually kind of like a sideways upgrade, or was it actually like a straight up upgrade?
I see.
So again, for classes who need those intermediary steps to be able to make it to the next jump, I can kind of get that, but with like how much legendary you already have and how strong Adele is, I don't think that's a necessary like step in between for you. So you could either get this the legendary and then keep the set bonus alive and get drop or mezzo from it, or you could say I'm just going straight up to the monocle. And then, because of course the annoying thing is, like, if you cube this one and you end up with like 30% strength or something on this, that's going to feel really shit. But if you get it on the monocle, if you're trying to get drop or mezzo on the monocle and you end up getting a lot of strength there, well then you can just switch to another monocle and then just swap it out.
I see.
And then there's no real loss there. And there's no real downside to like getting eventually to like 18, 19, or maybe even 20 star monocle and then finding a pap mark. Like, that's fine because you can't really rely on that anyway.
Right.
But let's say you have a 17. Yeah.
Yeah, ideally I just get a pap drop and work on that, right?
Ideally, yeah. I mean, honestly, it's not ideal to get it too early because then you might, like, oh, I'm going to put all my flames on the pap mark, all my flames on the Dominator, but then you're kind of like halting your general growth because, it's almost like you're having too many good things to work on. Because also, and then once you get a drop for Superior Gollux, then you have to like work on that whole set. Like, it's a lot at once.
I see. I see. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah, it's better to have it and sit on in your inventory and be able to use it whenever you want to than never have it at all. Of course.
I see. That makes sense. Gotcha.
I've seen a chat for Zelpex. Still didn't get it. Poor guy.
Did you happen to know what actually affects the pap mark drop rate? I heard that drop rate actually doesn't affect it.
Yeah.
Except for like.
Apparently not.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, that's the only thing that really confirms the fact that it probably doesn't. When people have just hundreds of percentages of drop rate, like 300 or more, and they've been running it since day one. Statistically, there should be like maybe one person in the entire game that hasn't gotten it yet, but there are so many. So it almost. And whenever they increase the drop rate for items that we know for a fact that are not affected by drop rate, like with the Absolab stuff and the Arcane stuff, then they always on the same patches they also mention, and we also increase the drop rate for Papulatus Mark. So it's like, it seems very, 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 very likely, if not like confirmed, that they have like the same type of multipliers, you know, or lack thereof, I guess.
Right. Gotcha. So is it just a rumor that like the greed pendant plus like WAP affects that, or like?
Yeah, there was some kind of mistranslation, I think, in a patch note where that got mentioned somewhere, and I think pretty quickly it got like dispelled as well. But it's always harder to like dispel a rumor than to spread one, so that probably will, for years to come, there will be some people who will like swear by that it works, and then maybe they will actually get a drop and then think that's confirmation, which of course you can never prove. So, you know.
Right.
But apparently it was like a mistranslation, yeah, and that kind of just like took legs of its own. And now, but people do kind of like meme on how bad the drop rate is, so they'll be like, well, I'm gonna wear my greed pendant anyway because because I believe in the heart of the cards or whatever. So, just superstition kind of stuff, yeah.
After a certain point, you don't need like extra damage to kill it really anyway. So if it does like have
yeah, if you have a drop in Mezzo on your greed pendant, of course you're gonna equip it, yeah. But like Wops is maybe a little bit overkill.
I see, gotcha.
Yeah. Imagine getting a pap mark, yeah. It's not for everyone. Couldn't be me.
Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, cool. Yeah, I think that covers most of the thoughts I had on equips. I guess a couple of side questions are, well, one small one is, do you know that the Monad questline is the Julieta stuff?
Yeah.
That's something that I feel like no one really does or talks about. Is it worth it to do that? I read a post on Reddit where somebody was talking about how you get like a bunch of like epic pencilier or like 140 gear for that.
Yeah, a lot of it comes out as epic, and there's 150 gear there as well for Ranmaru, but of course Ranmaru already drops a lot of it as well, so that's not as valuable. And it doesn't drop all of the types of equips either, like doesn't drop the shoulders and stuff. I think it's the hats, the shoes, and the overalls, I believe. The main thing with all of that content is the questline is very, very long. It is a one per account, then everyone has access. The main value, I think, would be to get the title. Once you can get the title, that's a very, very good title. It's near best in slot, and it's pretty quick to be able to get it. The main problem is that the boss fight is laggy as hell.
Oh, really? Okay.
You basically just want to be strong enough to walk in and just like dumpster her immediately, so you can immediately get to the boss. So the bare minimum of things can go wrong. I think your average chance of like going through the whole boss fight and surviving and just the game not just randomly closing is about 25%. Even though you have like 3 to 4 runs per day per character, it's just very frustrating to constantly have to relog and walk back and get like very far, and then the game is just like nope, it just closes.
I see.
Yeah, there's some value there, but it would be in all the guides, and it would be way more mentioned of like, oh, easy epic 150 stuff, and if the content wasn't behind like a 4.5-5 hour quest line and wasn't like disconnecting you every 2 seconds.
I see.
That's kind of the the reason why it's not everywhere. Yeah.
I see. Gotcha.
But yeah, the title can be pretty good. So if you do have it unlocked and you have strong characters, it's probably a decent thing to try to go for title, because the pink bean titles are not really accessible. You have to kill CRA 20 times each on a character before you can get that one, so that's also, huge time gate.
And you can just grab that title on like every character basically. It's just pretty quick to grab.
Yeah, I think the one of the fights is that you have to kill Julieta without dying, I think.
Oh, okay.
So, if you're strong enough, you just burst her down in the middle, then you just boom, immediately you complete, boom, pick up title.
I see.
Yeah, you might have to be pretty strong, or the boss fight is also doable without dying, but it's one of those really weird, wonky battles with like weird stages and stuff, and sometimes you just die to almost. It's almost like, did you do the mushroom shrine, the fight with the big
Tengu?
bird? Yeah, with Tengu.
Yeah.
But like sometimes you just like boop, and then you get one tap, like that kind of stuff just sometimes happens. Yeah. But so then if the challenge is not to die, then you'll be like, oh well, I guess fuck my run. So I'll try again later. Yeah. It's a little bit like that, but
Gotcha.
But more disconnecting.
Is it approximately how hard is it in terms of like comparing to another boss? Would you say
it's hard to like not tilt because of how annoying it is.
Okay.
Like there's all these little transitions, and they'll all teleport you to a certain stage, and then there are like these attacks that are thrown at you, and they show the hitboxes on the ground, and sometimes they hit exactly where the hitboxes are, but sometimes they don't at all, because you can see the hitbox, but you can't see the angle of approach. So sometimes you'll be like, oh, I'll just duck and I'll be fine, but sometimes the angle of approach is like 3 degrees, so like everything just gets hit on the way there, so there's like no safety. And in the final stage, there's this weird thing where you can just walk behind her. Like if she basically, like, the final stage, she kind of like corners you and tries to hit you and slash you and do like quite a lot of damage. And there's some healing cooldown, so it gets pretty tough to survive. But you can just like walk through her during her attack and then just hit her from behind, and then it'll push you forward a little bit. But as long as you keep moving back a little bit, you could just stand behind her and kill her from there. Which is really weird because the attacks like don't hit you at all there. Probably a bit of an oversight because she just lacks the ability to turn around. But yeah, it's a very interesting piece of content. It's like GMS exclusive, and it really shows.
Oh, really? I see. Okay, that says a lot. Generally, I've noticed that like most of the GMS are like the ported content for like.
Yeah, it doesn't interact well with the entire client. It probably works in some test client somewhere. It worked well. Yeah, the soundtrack is really good. I think the whole storyline is pretty fun. It's very it's not flexible, but like it has a lot of aspects of like little other mini games and stuff. So it's not like just I don't know if you've ever done the Jesus, that's loud. I don't know if you've done the storyline in Moonbridge ever. But it's like, oh, kill the 10 monsters on the map, go to the next one. Kill the 10 monsters on the map, go to the next one.
Right.
Kill 200 monsters here, go to the next one. Like it's not like that at all. It's like everything is like a little bit different, and that makes sometimes for weird interactions and like layering issues, and it looks a little bit weird. But it does have like its own atmosphere, and it is kind of fun. But it is also very long. So if you're not into that, then that's pretty tedious.
I see. Yeah, I was thinking of doing it in like trading runs with my my friend for like leveling up Legion mules past 140. It might be like worth it to get some like epic gear to like.
Oh yeah, maybe. I wonder if that will also count for the title then, and just get titles on everything if you just carry each other.
Right.
Because you can do, I think you can do 3 runs, and if you've completed 3 runs, you get a ticket for a 4th run. So you could do 4 runs per day. So you could blow through like your whole account of mules pretty quickly if you can exchange that with your friend. Yeah, and then the box at the end, I think it depends on drop rate, but it can drop up to like 7 or 8 equips, I think. So you could get some epics pretty quickly. Of course, everything in there is not flame advantage though. So, but you know, gift horse and mouth and that kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Gotcha. Good to know.
All right. I think you had another question? Or are you good for now?
Let me see. I think I have a couple notes here. The last, I guess, is it's again random, but in regards to like Legion coins, is it worth to try to prioritize hitting a certain like Legion coin income in order to in order to be able to like buy out the shop, especially like they're coming out with some like Legion coin shop changes. I thought they.
I saw that. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Like I mean, in general, you just try to grow out your Legion, right, and then just kind of make do with how many coins you have. I think the score that, like, if you wanted to on at least one character, always buy out all of the meso coupons, or you wanted to do that on 2 characters or something, your income needs to be pretty high. I think you need like 400 million raid power or something to be able to always buy out every week on 2 characters, like on a main and on a Kana, for example.
I see.
So that is yeah, people always are like, well, how do you have so many coins? You'll never be able to spend those. Like, oh no, trust me. If I want to spend those, within like a month or 2, they can all be gone if I like hardcore spend. Yeah. Yeah, there's a limit to how many you can buy, but there's not really a limit to how many characters you have. So if you just go on a bunch of different characters and use a bunch of different coupons, you can run out real quick. So it's just the more the better kind of thing.
The shop is per character?
Yeah. The new stuff, some of the flames and stuff, those are going to have limits per account now. But right now, everything is per character limited, yeah.
Oh, okay. I actually didn't know that. Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, usually shops that say like, that say that there's a limit and that's all they say, like how many is the limit, then that's typically per character. It generally, with event stores as well, it should say limit and then per world specifically if it's shared between characters for limit.
Okay, gotcha. All right, that makes sense. Okay, cool. I'll probably just prioritize levels, I guess, for Legion.
Yeah, especially with bonking, if you can just get like a bunch of levels on a bunch of characters, and maybe try to get 1 or 2 like closer to the 200, so you maybe get the level 3 links, but mainly just try to get as many levels and in total as possible. Get them all to like 160, 170 ish, and then if they're all there, then you can bonk further, bonk away.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, in general, just making a whole Legion of level 60s, level 100s, and then eventually level 140s, they'll already get you to 6k. And then if you have a bunch of 200s on top of that, then they'll just smooth into transition later to 8k. But that's not even super necessary, because like getting 40 levels from 0 or like from 60 to 100 is always going to be easier than 40 levels from 160 to 200, right?
Would you recommend like getting all like a set of 60 characters first, like in terms of I've just been straight like going 1 to 140 first, and then or like 1 to 120, and then like Zachem and Monster Parking.
Yeah, I think 100 and then Zachem and Monster Park is usually what I do. Okay, I would just make like a new character, get it to 100, and then Zachem, Monster Park, and then either make another character or just don't do anything anymore. Next day, make a new character to 100, and then revisit the first character for another Zachem run, and then just do that until they're all 140.
Gotcha.
Until I was like, some days I was doing like 100 Zachem runs in a day, because back in the day you could do 2 Zachem runs per character per day.
Oh, right.
So there were like a few I think there was like a few days or like 1 week where I did it on every character on my account, but then it got a little bit too tedious.
Yeah. Doing it once is already like trying to grab a rune and then going straight to Zachem.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. I would do the rune thing. That would that would have made the whole thing even more of an ordeal. Yeah, I know.
Right. Okay, makes sense. Okay, sounds good. I think that covers pretty much everything I had in my notes. So.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if there's still something that pops up you think is requires some extra explanation, just hit me up on Discord. Otherwise, I'll always be available in the chat.
All right, awesome.
All right, well, best of luck with everything, and hopefully I see you around.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, good luck.
All right, good talking to you.
Yes, bye. Right, cool. Yeah, it helps that you already had a lot of knowledge from GMS, so that transfers pretty easily for a lot of the background systems and stuff. Very much, a lot of the basics already in place. Legion gains can be very, very good. But yeah, you want to capitalize on that compensation hardcore. Totems, triple, vac pets, the work. So I think once it gets to the point that the progress starts slowing down, then you can just start throwing that money on Akana, because it seems like he's open to the idea and does plan on playing a lot. So then you can have double character income, fuel those huge upgrades that you're trying to make, 20, 21, 22 stars and stuff like CRA and everything, and then be clearing hard lose and hard will in no time. Boss is just going to be practicing, but it's really cool that he's playing with a group of friends together. We didn't really say how many people it were, but I'm guessing it's something like 3, 4, or 5, something like that. Probably somewhere around 4. And then yeah, it's really cool if you can keep leveling with a group of friends like that. So yeah, if this was informative or you learned something new here from this, I'm glad. That's the goal, that everyone picks up at least one thing from one of these sessions. If you want one of these for yourself, or you have information that you want to share with me in terms of your battle analysis, monster skill per hour, or a training video of you somewhere in the Tenebris areas, check the description of the video. And other than that, have a good day. And thanks for getting me to 6K subs on YouTube. I appreciate it very much. Just hit 6K. Thank you. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.